What's up? This is Steve Murray here with the one and only Kresnt, and this is Inspired by Culture. Yeah. So, I was on the way. I was on the way here just now. I'm listening to the new album you just put out, Rummy's Reflection, right?
Yeah, Rummy's Reflection.
Yeah. It took me, first of all, forever to get here because of the fucking traffic.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to the first track, same guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hear you talking about you lost yourself a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is it called? Soul, same guy, something.
Yeah.
You have a line in there where you're saying, like,
I'm not the same guy as before I turned cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Who broke your heart?
Man, it's just like...
Straight to
yeah. No, it's just like life in general, but like Rummy's Reflection was kind of like a time where like I got to... we're in a constant, like, we're on to the next. Like, this was my moment to, like, stop and, like, smell the roses and reflect on, like, the journey.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there's a lot of shit that, like, happened that was major, but, like, I tried to, like, kind of, like, mask it or just keep it low-key. And then it's like, yo, let's reflect on, like, the journey here so far and what you have to go through, trials and tribulations and shit.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you were reflecting on?
Just like the whole process, like it's you gotta fall in love with the process of, like, you're consistently doing your craft, whatever it is, and it's like you see yourself getting better and more opportunities are happening because it depends how hard you're working. So just a reflection on, like, oh yo, like, you're working with, like, dope ass producers, you're working, like, you've upgraded from recording in a basement to, like, $1 million studios,
right.
And it's like, so it's like just...
Is that better,
like,
or not really?
Yeah. So it's like just kind of like reflecting on, like, the
just that grind,
being blessed and grateful.
Yeah. Now that's interesting because, like, I'm looking at, like, your background. I see you classify as what Afghan-Canadian.
Afghan-Canadian.
Yo, what is that?
Yeah,
the
like,
only thing I know Afghan is Afghan goo weed.
Hey man, you know what I mean? Like, just
but,
Afghans and dope is just they go together, you know. So.
But as far as your journey and like your process of even becoming an artist and hitting some of the plateaus that you've hit on, what was that process like for you? Because I mean, did you grow up in Afghan first, or like what's your breakdown?
Kind of like the story was that I was born in Afghanistan.
Okay.
And then when I was 4, because of the war of Russia invading and everything, so we kind of, like, refugee status, just dipped from there and went to Canada.
Okay.
So who
was with you?
Me and I have, like, 4 brothers. So we just all, like, kicked it. My older brothers remember much more.
Yeah.
For me, like, I've been blessed that, like, I remember, like, the good memories because I was, like, 4 years old. Like, I don't remember like the journey of coming here necessarily, but once it's explained to me, it's like, damn, like, we going through a lot just to get here. So every day I'm just living life like, damn, where we came from, like, it's a blessing just to be here, you know?
Yeah. So it's interesting because my family is from Sierra Leone in West Africa, so it was a war over there as well.
Yeah.
But we came over here. I was born in D.C., but we came over here. But my brother stayed, and during that time it was a war going on, etc. And it's, you know, I see, like, with some of the things that you do in your music, like your artwork, everything, I see where you still have some of that Middle Eastern artwork tied into what you actually do. So does that play, like, what role does that play in your music? Because you grew up in Canada, but like, you know.
So for me, like, growing up in Canada, I got to kind of see, like, the media's perspective on, like, Middle Eastern people, brown people, and, like, how on, like, the media outlets and everything, and how we were depicted as, like, terrorists and, like, suicide bombers and just, like, the most, like, radical and reckless shit. And then it's like, I want to be able to start being at a platform where my music is being recognized. I'm getting, like, posted by all these, like, blogs and everything and news outlets, and my artwork is Middle Eastern, and I always make sure that they emphasize on the fact that it's, like, an Afghan artist. Like, I'm not hiding who I am. I want, like, Afghans to be in a more positive light.
Yeah.
Because, like, of just, like, I guess, like, the years of, like, the media, You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like how
yeah.
they depict us. It's like, yo, we're just as chill as
Regular.
y'all, bro. Like it's the same, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's dope. With you got friends over there still or no?
in
Like,
Afghanistan,
yeah,
we still got family that live there.
right.
And it's like for them to come over like here because like getting visas and everything, it's very complicated. So it's like we have family out there that's like going through it. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So.
for sure. No, I was gonna ask you if they listen to your music or if any of your cousins.
Oh,
make
yo,
music.
100%. Yeah, it's just like they listen to it and then they play it for their friends and then their friends are like, yo, no way, he's Afghan, and it's like just like a lot of the times.
Wait, so
like,
they speak English?
Yeah, they understand English as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's like in Afghanistan, yeah,
Yeah.
and then like in Afghanistan they understand like English as well, but I'm talking about like also my cousin and family
Oh,
in
okay.
Germany.
Yeah.
They've just been posting it. They've been sharing it with all their friends, and they're like, "Yo, there's no way that like this guy's Afghan, because just like the musical route isn't typical. You know what I mean?
Right,
To go
right.
with it, especially like making North American music. You
Right.
Know, so.
That's what I was gonna ask you because I was gonna, like, what inspired you to actually become an artist or to make hip hop?
Mhm.
Like, what was your inspiration
just
for
like,
even doing that?
Like, it was a way for myself to express myself because like I'm mostly introverted, right? So I'm quiet, keep to myself, and then like if I was like, yo, let me just express myself. So I started writing, and I was like, nah, like when I write, it just sounds too much like a journal, right? So I was like, if I write, that shit sounds too much like a story, a journal. But that's why most of my music I freestyle. So I hear the beat and I just go off of it and I just talk about everything that I've been thinking about, what's been on my mind. And once I let it out, it's like, damn, I let that out. So it's not a burden on me anymore. Because if people hear it, they're gonna be like, oh shit, like, because all I talk about, like you heard the project, it's like, it's no cap, you know what I mean? It's just all facts. It's just like shit that I went through, and it's like, so it's like when I let go of it, it's like, oh, I told someone. I actually told a large demographic of people. So
Got it.
they can't hold it against me, or I can't be like kind of a little embarrassed to be like, shit, I don't want people to know that. But it's like I already put it out, so it's like.
That makes sense. So it's almost like your own form of therapy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. No, that's interesting. Cause even with your style of music, I was curious. Like, yo, this dude, you got like a unique style. Cause it sounds new school, but you have like a way of putting bars together and telling a story that reminds me of like a Rakim or like some of the more lyrical rappers from the older school. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
bro,
this,
first of all, facts. Let me back you up. Yeah, that's straight facts. Straight facts. Because it's just like the idea where it's like, I love that. Like lyricism is like just like embedded in my head. I love like lyrical rap and like clever punchlines, double entendres, and then it's like, but at the same time, I also like, I like stuff that sounds good. So the mixture of both like having melodic elements, but also like bars, putting them together, and just having tracks that don't sound like the dude is rapping 64 bars in your ear. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too like.
So people could catch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Got it.
So.
What about like Canada? Like, how much influence did that have on you, just as a person and everything? Because if I call one of my people that's from Canada, like, oh, what's going on, man? You're a waste man. Oh, you're taking a piss. Like, they got a strong Canadian accent, but with yours, I don't hear it. Like, I don't like. I don't see the influence in what you do as much. Like, what role does growing up there play? Like, how did that affect you?
Just like I feel like Canadians are just like, man, they're just, for the most part, just like nice people. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I came up in an environment where it was like obviously there's gonna be whack people everywhere you go as well. Yeah. But it's like I came from a place that's like the people there are for the most part more happy, I guess, in a sense. Yeah. So just like growing up was just they let you just do you. You know what I mean? It wasn't a place where like in Europe, like if you go out in like sweats and shit, and it's like they're like, oh, this guy's they kind of judge you type stuff. But in there, it's like everyone just could just be them. You know what I mean? So it allowed me to kind of like be like, oh, I'm not afraid to be the real me because it's a less judgy place, you know?
Yeah. So. From Vancouver specifically, right? Or
yeah, Vancouver.
Yeah, got it. Now I was in Toronto early this year, I think. I was in
Okay.
Toronto. That's probably the furthest north I've been.
Yeah, because you were saying like Wasteman and shit. I was like, yo, you know Toronto be
Yeah,
taking that UK slang.
Exactly,
facts,
exactly. That's why I was like when I was listening to your stuff, I'm like, oh, I wonder how much that bleeds over, but I didn't really hear it.
Yeah.
Is it so?
It doesn't trickle down to Vancouver. It's just
Okay.
kind of like, I guess Vancouver is just seeing like Toronto pop off and like the slang that they're using, which is off of UK. So they're just they're kind of like taking it from Toronto in a sense, but it's like it hasn't trickled down to Vancouver being like.
Yeah. Do you think that's influenced a lot because of like Drake, who makes stuff like that popular?
Drake? No,
Drake. yeah.
Yeah, dope. The thing is, like, yeah, definitely. Toronto has like a music scene now, in which it didn't. It always had a music scene, but nothing that was more like unified or an actual like collective.
Right.
And slowly, Vancouver's coming up. You know, shout out Vancouver. Like, we're coming up. Like, there's artists that are actually like doing really dope shit out there, and it's like shows and festivals and events are being thrown out there. So it's a good look for the city. So necessarily Vancouver scene hasn't been developed fully.
Yeah.
But it's coming up.
Yeah.
So Toronto is more on like the established side. It's like in New York and Atlanta at this point.
Yeah. Got it.
I mean,
so everybody feel like they need to escape to Toronto? Or
that's
no?
what it is. A lot of people feel like they gotta dip from their hometown to make it and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you have to explore. You have to see the other places. But end of the day, it's like a lot of places are the same shit.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. I mean, and with the internet, obviously, you could be wherever you want to be.
Yeah, just
in some
push
sense.
it. Exactly. Just push yourself to like one location or specific locations, and it's like, cool, you're there.
Yeah. When you like, I saw you had a track that was number 2 on Canadian iTunes, right?
Oh, that was the whole album.
Oh, the whole album
The
debut.
whole album. Yeah,
Okay.
it debuted at number 2 in Canada, so that was really dope. And number 1 in Turkey in all genres.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even necessarily pushing for Turkey, but just like a Middle Eastern come up. It's just like they hear it.
It's
and
real.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
And they love like rap out there, so it's like.
Yeah. So with like, if you let's say you hit the charts at number 2 on the Canadian playlist, do people like Tory Lanez and Drake they enter on that too, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, like the list that I was on was like it was like Schoolboy Q, it was P&B Rock, it was like definitely like the top artists.
Oh, it's just who's top being played in Canada, not from Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
like in
it.
Canada, there's like I guess like iTunes America, and then there's like iTunes Canada.
Right.
And then out of like the top 100 albums in Canada, I was in number 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. What
Over
was that like?
It was crazy because like we woke up to it, and then I was just like, yo, that's so crazy because like we're 100% independent, right? So, and all the artists like from 1 to 20 were signed artists, you know what I mean? So it was a really, really dope feeling because it's like the underdogs, like the Raptors.
Yeah.
You already know.
I know. This is the first time the U.S. has ever lost the NBA championship. I think it might be because of Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everything you could just be like, yeah, it was on him.
Just put it on Trump.
Yeah.
What's Toronto? I mean, what's Canada like right now? Because I'm sure the whole country was behind the Raptors, right?
Yeah, or like my homies from Toronto are just like sending me videos, and it's like the whole city is just so live. You know what I mean? Like they're so lit. They're just like every day is a party now. You know what I mean? Because like it's history.
Yeah.
Like, Canada already has like the top artists and now the top NBA team, like number 1 NBA team. It's huge.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
So you're for Canada, man.
Ah.
Y'all have added it enough.
Yeah.
Let us hold it.
Let us hold it for a second.
Let me just see it. Let me just see it.
No, that's not bad. I'm sure it's gonna be some type of concerts, parades, the whole 9 probably.
It definitely,
I mean, what's on your schedule for going back to Canada, or when an event like that comes up? Because if you just started number 2, etc., you big over there, I'm sure like. Maybe Drake and Tory Lanez would probably have something, or those. You know what I mean?
I'm just waiting for that text, you know, like
You're
gonna be like, yo, you trying to pull up?
Trying to link.
I'm like, yo, new phone. Who this? And you already know I have it saved. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit. Who's this though?
Yeah, that's funny.
I was like, he can't know that I know.
Yeah, he can't know that I know.
Yeah.
Is it easy for guys like to get in contact with other guys that are from Canada? Obviously, like referencing Drake and Tory Lanez because they're like biggest national act period, not even just Canada, but you know when you come from a smaller community like that, like is it easy to contact guys like that when you're making moves or what?
For those artists, like they were both I guess like from Toronto, right? So
Right.
same city, that might have been like easier, but just like I guess like everyone's on their own schedule, everyone's like doing them to like reaching out to them would just be just as difficult as like anybody else, you know what I mean? But just getting like if they reach out to you, so you already know. So
Yeah.
it's one of those when you get to that level, I guess it's like you would just reach out to the people you're trying to.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I saw something else on your I saw something on your Instagram. Is you had, I think you had your album cover and it was 4 women that were in their hijabs. Those your sisters? Or?
No. They were my sisters. They all look different.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell.
My old dad was a player.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just playing, dog. No, but pretty much like we shot a commercial for my album.
Oh, okay.
And that's how like before the project we were dropping like commercials for the album to like pre-order and all that, pre-save and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in the commercial we had 3 women like dressed in Middle Eastern clothing, walking around the sand and finding the album buried. So it's like it was buried treasure. They found it, and then that's kind of like the first trailer. That was the introduction of how I like show them the cover.
Yeah.
And then when they pull it out, and then I was like, yo, that'd be dope if they took a pic with it. And then so the girls got together, we took a pic, and I uploaded it on our Eid Mubarak, which is like our New Year.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that posted.
Muslim.
Oh, my dog. Oh, yeah, my brother.
That's
Yeah. My brother. That's sick. Plot twist.
No, when I
Trump's
saw
like, this is definitely not coming out.
No, when I saw that, I just thought it was interesting, and the fact that you used the name Kresnt. So I was wondering, what that came from, or what your reasoning for putting it on the forefront like that would be.
So, like, Kresnt came just from my
Kresnt.
name, because my name from Farsi translated to English is Kresnt.
Okay.
So I just spelled it differently, but like that's like I think that's the first time I've shared that. But yeah, that's kind of like why like Kresnt is just like my name in Farsi translated to English is Kresnt.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I just spelled it with Kresnt just because I was like, yo,
Got it. I
little
thought
sauce.
maybe it came from the crescent moon or something like that.
It is, yeah. It is from like the crescent moon that.
But
that's
where
my name
actually your real real name
yeah.
comes from.
So it's like a triple entendre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's ill. I see, like, I heard in one of your lines you're saying you got a stack of money the size of the Bible praying to this prophet or something like that.
Yeah. I see, yeah. Exactly. So it's just like I like playing off like just a lot of like words that we've heard like a lot throughout like our life. I just like playing off of that and kind of like taking the word and spinning it. You know what I mean? And it's like wallet thick as the Bible, and I'm praying for this prophet. Ain't leaving my house, but we rolling on the tropics.
Right.
We ain't leaving, but we ain't leaving the crib, but we rolling.
You know what? I just heard it twice now. Yeah. Like when you said that, I heard the double entendre of prophet and prophet.
Yeah, exactly.
That was clever.
My G, thank you. Yeah. So it's just like, and like the whole project, like the album, like for that second verse of Remember Way Back, I said like, I went from school ESL to double XL. C class ain't my thing, I'd rather cop an SL. Mercedes coupe mint, so I'm finna excel. This man on fire with my album Denzel. So those 4 bars, like they're like, oh, that flow is nice, but every single one was just a separate bar. So I said like, I went from school ESL to double XL. ESL, like English second language, to double XL. C class ain't my thing, I'd rather cop an SL. And then because the Mercedes-Benz C class, but I'd rather have the high luxury SL. Mercedes coupe mint, so I'm finna XL. Because that gum
of
XL
course.
bids, and then this man on fire will my album Denzel. Because Denzel,
man on fire, Denzel.
Yes, sir. So every
that's
line,
ill.
Gee, and every line was a bar, and like that whole song, like when Ken Lewis and I were working on that song, and when we heard the beat, the melody, I went off, and he was just like, yo. right now, recorded right now. And I was like, all right. So we just went off.
Yeah.
Made that track when I was in New Jersey, and like came out so clean.
Yeah, no, that's ill. I didn't really catch the breakdown until you just did it. Like,
Yeah.
I caught some of it, but I didn't catch every line,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
how you just broke it down. That's interesting, because I wanted to know, you know, you said Man on Fire, but the album didn't sell, right? So, like, how do you think people really receive you as a person, right? Because it's a lot of ways that, especially in hip hop. Now I think it's probably a little bit different, because it seems like it's a lot of people from a lot of different areas that come in with different looks, etc. But you've been doing music for how long?
So I've been making music since I was 13. So it's like for 11 years of just like pushing on the being able to like rap, being able to sing, because I write all my stuff. Like I want to make sure that like I'm consistently getting better as an artist every year.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm saying, like, how do people usually receive you as a person, like when you walk in the room? Because first of all, they probably might think you're white when you come in.
Facts.
And
yeah.
then, you know, just being a rapper from the Middle East, and then you put it out there that you're Muslim, and then like those are you're a minority in the minority in the minority.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm like, yo, listen, the odds cannot be any more stacked. You know what I mean? Like, so.
So what's that? I mean, what's that like? Like,
it's.
Do you think you're well received? Like, I
think
don't know. Tell me.
Like, honestly, like I feel like a lot of, because of all those limitations, of course, I consistently, like, in my mind, like I think like I don't think of any of these limitations, but in reality, like, it's been making stuff like a lot harder. But it's just there's no.
In what way?
Just because like there's no road paved for us. There's no lane paved for. If you break down how specific it is, it's like an immigrant, Afghan-Canadian, Muslim, and it's like you're stacking it all up. It's like there's no one that's done it. So it's like there's no role models or people that I can kind of look. Even when I was a kid, like there's no Afghan that I could be like, oh, this is what I'm trying to be like. And now like we have a lot of like legends, rest in peace Nipsey. You know, we have like Tupac, rest in peace, and then even like for
Nipsey Afghan?
No, we like I meant like there's like a lot of like in hip hop. A lot of like legends to look up to, especially if you're from LA, right?
Right,
like,
right.
Kendrick, we can be like that, and it's like for my people, it's like there's nobody. So the motivation has just been like keep going, but it's like we know that we're breaking down every wall, so it's much harder just because there's nobody that we can kind of like lean on. It's just us. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just our movement, our team pushing it and just breaking the barriers. So, like, you know how I mean? Like, sometimes, like, someone's like, my homie knows this homie. Like, there's all these industry connects, you know what I mean? People are, like, getting signed, like, the next day and, like, whatever all that shit is. It's, like, legit. It's, like, nothing. No industry connects, you know? We're just, how we got here is just, like, bro, just
you
genuinely,
know
like.
somebody? No.
Yeah. Yo, you got something to call? Nah, fam. Like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Dang. So I mean, how does that impact you? Does that make you go harder, or
exactly?
Like,
it just makes it much harder. Like makes me go much harder because I'm like, yo, like this is just the idea of like the legacy being paved you know, every day, and like what we're doing, like the no sleeps, the long shoots. It's like all of it has an end goal, and it's like it's just motivation. It's like, yo, we're making history by continuously allowing like our people like. That's why, like, in one of my tracks, like, that's not out yet, but I say, you the man of your city, that's cool. I'm the man of my nation. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm really trying to put on, like, my people in a public light that's in a positive image, positive light, you know what I mean? Like, I don't promote, you heard the music, so it's like, I don't promote anything that's necessarily toxic. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm trying to have...
Maybe.
It depends how. Yeah. You know what?
No, I saw like on your Instagram you had there's a image you have of somebody rolling weed or something like that, but it looks like it has pills and a bunch of other stuff in it. What is that?
That's the thing. Like, it's actually, there was no weed or anything. It was a leaf, and then it was like it was like spices and stuff that was tradition for the traditional
smokes
Middle Eastern.
spices?
No, nobody was smoking it. That's why the song had nothing to do with it too. It was we had like a visualizer, and it was like a leaf, and then it was like rolling of like spices, like Middle Eastern stuff. You know what I mean? Just like showing that it's like the shit's got a kick to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was a bar. You know what I mean?
Got
Like,
it.
Even like
got
the artworks are
That
bars.
was like a
you know what I
visual
mean?
bar.
Yeah,
A
a visual bar.
punchline.
They're like,
Alright,
damn.
alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say they getting high on spice. But
Yeah,
alright.
yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So, I like you have a lot of references to like everything is like what keeps you so tied to that Middle Eastern root? Because one, so like for me, right, my parents are from Sierra Leone, right, and for me, it's rare that I meet someone in America who has a similar background as me that also is like, oh, Sierra Leonean and very American in a sense, right?
Yep.
So for you, you're an artist, but your parents are from the Middle East, and I'm gonna take a wild guess that you probably didn't have many friends with the same background as you growing up.
Nah.
So how do you stay so connected culturally to the Middle East?
It's just been like, cause in an Afghan household, I guess like for the most part, like a lot of like traditional households, we just stay with our family. We stay with our, like, that's why like I can speak Farsi. My brothers can speak Farsi, and like our parents, or when we're at home.
I think I know 2 Farsi words. Chittari. That's a
Okay,
word.
Chitorasi, yeah. How are you?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
see, I know a little bit.
Nice. And he's like, the other one I'll say off camera.
Salam.
What's up?
Salam.
Look at the salam, my man.
exactly. Yeah, but you were saying.
So, just like when we're at home, like our mom would just be like, speak Farsi only when we're at home, right? So it's like we had like enough to learn about it, and then as I got older, I want to obviously know like more about my culture, just because I'm like I'm doing music, but like I don't have the same I don't have the same story as I don't think a lot of people have the same story. Everyone's living like their own life, their own journey. So I'm like, okay, so if I was to embrace my come up, I don't have like this typical come up, the typical. So it's just like I stick with my culture because I'm like, that's my people. Like that's where I feel like, you know what I mean? Like people who will understand the struggles the most.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on? I mean, so what's the dominant religion in Vancouver?
Like I guess like Christian, maybe, like anything, like it's just it's a diverse place. So like there's like Muslims there, there's like Buddhists. It's just like it's a melting pot. It's a melting pot. So it's like.
Got it. No, I'm asking that because like I want to know your thoughts on just how easy or difficult it is to stay disciplined and not conform to what others around you are doing. Because if you grew up and there wasn't a lot of people who were practicing some of the things that you were practicing, speaking some of the languages that you were practicing, like what are your thoughts on upholding some of those traditions versus not, or like the ability to stay disciplined for some of those things? Like what's your...
It would definitely be difficult if you're in an environment where you like you were saying, like you don't have, like you don't know, because everyone is doing like something completely different, right? But I guess like just comes down to being able to keep the cultural ties, because of like I would be spending most of my time with my family. So it's like I'm kind of like learning from that experience, and then like just like the last 4 years is when I've actually like I've had like multiple Afghan friends, and now they're like brothers to me. So it's like we're kind of like holding each other down in a sense. But yeah, like it just comes down to like a lot of people can be like, oh, I didn't embrace the culture because of like how the environment that I was at. But end of the day, like you can always embrace the culture. It just comes down to how much are you willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like someone's like, oh, it wasn't handed to me type stuff. It's like, did you go and research on your own? Did you grind? Did you want to do it? Did you want to like, you're like, I'm gonna be Muslim. I want, like, did you give the effort to it? And it's like, or did you just say, oh, because nobody taught me or nobody did this? You know what I mean? So it's like they want that handed to them. Then it's like they genuinely didn't want to pursue like the culture type shit.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting on a number of different reasons because I think it applies not only to music or not only to life, just the broad spectrum of anything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if you want something bad enough, because even like with you doing music, you probably had to break out of a lot of cycles or what might have be considered traditional for what your parents might have wanted you to do and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So
I'm
it's
sure
like,
they didn't say, I want my son to come to America or Canada and be a rapper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely it. That's like
You're supposed to be a doctor or something.
I'm a doctor, engineer, so it's like it's like, yo, low key, I know how to engineer, but it's like music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, still kind of in that, but
that's dope.
It's you already know, man.
Yeah.
And I got sick lines, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you, who you're listening to right now? Like, what's your like some of the people that influenced you or like you know inspired you?
Like right now, I'm listening to like Logic. The Baby.
He's from Maryland,
crazy.
yeah.
He's crazy. I like his music videos as well. They're very clever. Of course, Drake. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. So did you see when he just knocked that kid out at the Louis Vuitton store?
The Baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Because like, you know what I mean? Like that was hilarious. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like the guy was just asking for it. You know what I mean? And it's like.
Yeah.
It's like when you want that, when you're doing that negative energy, and then it's like when you get
it back.
When you get it back, it's like, oh shit, like I didn't want this, and it's like, you did. Like the video was clearly that you did want this. You know what I mean?
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Do you get artists or people online trolling you in that way as well, or no?
The thing is, like, I don't entertain it, so they'll understand that it's like if I don't entertain it and they're trying to do it consistently, it's not even getting my attention. They won't bother to do it anymore. And I feel like a lot of the artists, like if somebody says something like negative to them and they respond, and it's like you opened up that door, you know what I mean? Because they're like, oh wait, if I say that he's dope, he won't respond. But if I say, yo, your shit is trash, and then you do respond, I could fuck with that artist, but just by getting a response from him is dope too, you know? So like for me, like I just respond to all the positive comments, you know what I mean? And then the negative comments, I don't even like look at it, you know what I mean? So it comes down to kind of like positive reinforcement. Like comment some good shit and I'll respond. Comment whack shit, you won't even
delete
scroll. Nah, don't delete them. Nah, it's not that deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like playing Marvin's Room. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
That is funny as hell. Well, I'm glad you definitely could join us today. You tell us where we can find all of your music and stuff.
Yo, you can follow me on IG at The Lunar Cycle. Go check out Rumi's Reflection out on all streaming platforms. I guess I don't know if you're gonna have like a button here that they can click and they'll go to the link.
We'll add it in the link.
You'll add the link in the bio. So click that. You know what I mean? We're YouTubers now.
For sure. I appreciate it. Again, wrapping up, this is Steve Murray. This is Inspired by Culture with the one and only Kresnt.
Yes, sir.